This is entitled Chanoch, the Angel with Human Foibles. This is from Midrash Rabbah.
So let's talk about a mysterious episode in the Prashat Bereishis, the sudden disappearance of Chanoch. So let's start with the relevant pasuk. It says, "V'talech Chanoch et Elokim," that Chanoch walked with God, and the eneno, suddenly he was gone. Ki lakachoto Elokim, because God took him. So what's going on here? We don't really get much backstory from the Chumash. The Midrash Rabbah offers two opinions about why he was taken. One is because he was bad, and one was because he wavered between good and bad, and God took him before he returned to being bad. And it still perhaps raises more questions than it answers, because now you have a question of, free will. How is it that someone is taken who's going off the path? There is a commentator who actually deals with this. At least he brings up the relevant issues, and there's two relevant issues. Let me sort of give you the bookends of this theological issue. One is the case of what's called Ben Sor Morer, this rebellious child who, this is a complete theoretical case. The Talmud says it never happened, but it's a case of a young man who is stealing from his parents and doing all kinds of things. And because we know that right now he is not he has not done a capital crime, he hasn't killed anybody, but we know that he is going in that direction. He's going, hanging out with the wrong people, getting involved with gangs and all, so he's going to go in that direction. So there's a special dispensation where, under very certain circumstances, again, which never happened, that he is taken, that his life is taken. So there you have something that's kind of close to our case, because he's taken because he's going to go off. On the other hand, you have the famous case of Ishmael, right? He was, throughout Jewish history, Ishmael has been a protagonist to the Jewish people, and yet when he was a child, he was starving, he was dying of thirst, and God made a miracle that he had a well appear that his mother could give him what to drink. And famous question, why save him if he's going to be so rotten to the Jewish people? And the answer is, Kasher Husham. As he is now, we look at him right now and say, innocent child, save his life. In fact, he's going to be a thorn in the side of the Jewish people. We don't look to the future and act on it now. So then you have these two bookend cases, and that is the theological kind of background to this case of how do we explain the sudden disappearance of Chanoch. Rav Shimshon Before Hirsch, the famous rabbi in Germany, he, in the 20th century, he actually looked at this verse that I read before, where it says, "V'talech Chanoch et Elokim," that he walked with God, and said, wow, it's very similar to the case of et Elohim v'talech Noach. Same words we use with Noah. And we know that Noah had two sides to him also. He was very righteous on an individual basis, but he wasn't able to actually influence anybody. Nobody joined him on the ark. So he said, perhaps it's the same thing here. You have a very righteous person who can't influence anyone, and that's why he was taken, because he... All right, now let's go on to some other interesting aspect of this case. It's sort of to step up the mystery of it. We have sources that say that this Chanoch, after he left, he went to Gan Eden. He eventually became an angel. And this may sound very mysterious, like I'm quoting from Zohar, but it's actually 5 times mentioned in the Talmud about Metatron, this angel. And three out of the 5 times, he's referred to as Chanoch, and the other 2 times Tosfos fills in the information. But you have some very unusual examples. For example, Metatron is known as the angel that was going to lead the Jewish people after the sin of the golden calf, when God said, I'm not leading you anymore. My angel will lead me. And of course, Moshe protested and got that turned around, but it was going to be this angel. Another tractate in Talmud quotes the case of Matatron as being someone who gives wisdom to young children soon as they're weaned. And a third case is Elisha ben Avu, this famous rabbi who lost his faith. And a very mysterious passage in the Talmud says that this rabbi mistakenly thought that somehow Matatron, being an angel, was sharing power with God, and that was, of course, very troublesome. But he was mistaken, and just to make sure no one else goes down that path, Matatron was removed from his place in heaven. So there you have all these references to Chanoch being Matatron. So the bottom line is, it seems that Chanoch became an angel, and so what at least can we get our arms around here? And perhaps I was thinking that, we always think about angels. There are many stories of, for example, Moshe arguing with angels. God said to Moshe, if you want the Torah, you have to convince the angels. And God said to and Moshe said to the angels, what do you need the Torah for? Why don't you let me take it down to the people? And of course they protested. The people are going to break the Torah. And God said, answer him. So Moshe said, you people, you angels, you don't know anything about the Torah. The Torah is based on human foibles of lust and jealousy and pride and all these things. You don't even have these human emotions. So what good is the Torah for you? The Torah is relevant to us. And he, of course, won the argument. But you see that these angels really have no understanding of people. So you wonder, how are they actually interacting on our behalf, or interceding, or whatever powers they have, whatever role God gives them? Don't they need to have some understanding? Well, here you have an angel, Chanoch, who was not only a human being, but he was a human being with tremendous foibles, who was struggling with his own faith. What better candidate to become an angel, and is someone that understands his constituency, understands that people have issues with faith, and they gain their faith and lose their faith, and they're struggling. So perhaps that's really what the story is about, to say that there is the angel up there, perhaps the head honcho angel, and he is someone who is very familiar with human beings and the qualities of human beings. So there you have it. Have a great Shabbos.